You know what Ron calls you?
What? Tell me.
Just take a guess.
Tell me.
What does he call her?
Go.
The boss.
The boss.
Yeah, the boss.
Exactly.
That's fucked
the boss.
up, right?
He's like the boss is
That
calling.
makes
all
Steven just
good.
look like he's. I was like,
You know, Ben, it's amazing how far you can get along in life if you don't mind who takes the credit.
that's fine.
Am I right?
That's
Man,
fine.
You get
I'm
a
just
long
saying-
way in life if you don't care who takes the credit.
As long as it's happening.
Yeah.
That's it.
No, I it was just funny because he was like, yeah. So Erica, and he goes, the boss, and I was like, yeah. So Erica's doing. He goes, the boss.
He knows what's
I was
happening.
like, the boss of, you mean Steven? He goes, the boss.
Just
I got a
the
good one
boss.
for you.
CEO of Malbon.
Just the boss.
I
Yeah,
said
CEO.
CEO of Malbon. Oh, wow.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Part 3 podcast. I am one of your hosts, Stephen Malbon. We got my man, J.R. Smith, Ben Baller, and the real boss who paid the cost, Erica Malbon.
Welcome to the first tee.
Welcome to the first tee, baby.
Thank you. I'm so happy to finally be here. I've been waiting for you guys to invite me on, you know?
We got to have you on if we're going to have this slum next to me on.
I think so too.
You know what I've been waiting for?
What?
Someone stole my pink Miami Vice, Miami Mulligans Miami
Oh,
t-shirt.
I remember.
And you said, I got you, Bandora, I got you.
You're still waiting on it.
5 months later.
I remember I was running around at that whole event looking for a bag for you, but we couldn't pull it off. I still do owe you that.
I love that shirt
I'm
because it
gonna
was
have to-
heavy and it was like, oh man,
We're going to have to make a reissue just for you.
I need it.
When is your first actual, introduction with the game of golf?
So I'd say, okay, so this is like kind of an interesting story. I think that like people are always like very curious about how we started the brand together and like how golf kind of has been like in both of our lives for as long as it has been. My dad was a big golfer. So I grew up like all the vacations, it was like golf. Everything was golf. And, I was young. I like took lessons as a kid just because he wanted me to. And I'd go to the driving range. And so I was like exposed to golf throughout my whole life. I still like go to my mom's house. Like I still have like my dad's like, what is it? Like his bag that we have that's,
He's got like a big bird. No,
no,
it's
not a big, it's,
Cleveland?
Cleveland, yeah. And like what?
Cleveland tour bag with his name on it.
And like we still have that in the garage. And so like I grew up always around golf, but didn't really like fully appreciate it as much as I do now.
Right.
But I understood it. I understood like the culture of it, like the customs and like what it meant to like for like I think family values and just like, how it could like really bring people together. I grew up between LA and the Philippines. And so I lived there for 6 years and like that was a kind of a different golf experience. And I know you guys have all traveled and like played in those places where you have like 5 caddies chasing you. It's like, it's quite nice. And so I think like that part of it I always liked. Like it was like, easy and
Remember,
yeah.
my ex-wife's
Oh yeah,
Filipino.
exactly. Yeah, there
her
you go.
grandfather was a senator of the Philippines. So it's like, I was in Makati and through the fort and everything for every year for the last 13 years. My kids have been there. My kids are obviously half Filipino.
Yeah.
So it's like a trip going out there and having 10 yayas and having all that stuff. And she went to high school there. She went to CSA. Did you go to ISA?
I went to ISM. Yeah.
Oh, it's ISM. Okay.
Yeah. But Stephen always jokes. He's like, I'm not your yaya. But you kind of
yaya.
are
I
though.
was about to say, what does that
Like
do?
a helper. It's like a helper fucking helper.
It's a whole different level
it's
of
a
nanny,
yaya.
bro.
Just people who just follow you around and it's like, here, charge my phone. Do this, do that. You just tell
JR,
them-
I'll have
it's nonstop.
4 my whole trip. I'll have 4 yayas.
So Erica,
Laundry, go get my food. Go get
Erica
this. Go get this.
is accustomed to the yaya lifestyle. So she'll say, if we're both sitting here like this, she'll say, "Can you do me a favor?" And I'll say, "Of course, honey." And she'll say, "Get my laptop." It's like, well, we're both fucking sitting here. You know what I mean? It's like, that's a favor? It sounds like a yah-yah request to me. Like, I'll get it, but that's not a favor. That's a
when you're
demand.
sitting down, you're
But it's
comfortable.
my favorite. Like, I'll be honest with you. There's a reason why it's more fun in the Philippines. You
I
know,
agree.
like it's like, especially like, you know, if you're staying in Metro Manila, it's like, even I don't give a how many times you can be in Rockwell, Makati, or nothing. It's like,
Well, I lived in Rockwell when I lived there.
And
yeah.
it's like, you know, it's like, dude, I almost bought a house there. It's like there's nothing like going to Balisan or going to Makati. I mean, going to Boracay or going to Palawan. And did you guys ever go to Amampulu or no?
Oh, Amampulo?
Yeah.
I've been there before, but
Oh
Steven
my
hasn't yet.
God.
I've been to Boracay, and I just went over Christmas. We went and I played Wak Wak. I played Manila Golf Club, which is
Station
like
1, right?
Manila Golf Club
No
is
way
like
you guys know Station 2. It's like,
their version of Augusta National. So it's made with like the same caddies. It looks very, very similar. And it's the most expensive membership in all of Asia. And it's right downtown Manila with
Yeah.
like skyscrapers all the way around it. It's
What's the membership cost?
I think it was 2 million, right? I think
more, I think it's more.
it might be more.
but you gotta
like,
remember, everything else though, JR, like you can have, like, it's cheap there.
Well,
right?
people are
want
cheap.
it.
Yeah.
People, labor is cheap.
Yeah, for
Not
sure.
real estate, not, you know.
No, of
Yeah.
course. Like when I was like, because you know, just my wife's family's from Forbes,
Yeah.
from Dasma, you know, so it's like that's
Yeah.
the Bel Air of the area.
Yeah.
But like going out there, it's just like,
2
Man.
million on a golf membership.
but it's everything else is dirt cheap, bro. But I'm
But
just
it's
saying,
also-
like, you
it's
know,
Yeah,
also
no, of
like,
course.
it's
The
a-
cost
I would
of-
assume so.
No,
Like,
but
that should be free.
But JR, it's like putting money in the bank because the value is going to go up, and if you want to leave, you can sell your
yeah,
membership.
you can sell your membership.
So it's
He's still like,
it's not like you're getting stuck with it. It's like buying a house for $2 million and selling it in 10 years for $3 million. Like the price is going to go up.
so you're saying
it-
it's an investment.
That's why I want to join.
JR.
you know?
JR, when I was out there, like in 2012, my
He don't
buddy
like
my buddy bought a luxury high-rise condo in the fort, and the fort was just blowing up at that point. He bought a luxury high-rise, 2-bedroom, 2,000 square foot apartment, doorman, everything, for $80,000 US, and it's barely at like 700 grand right now. It's not even like it's, and that's like a crazy price for the place. Everything
Yeah,
is
I was
cheap
gonna
out
say
there.
like
It's
80 grand. That like, we should have jumped on that.
Let me ask
that's
you
why I was
this:
just like, just do it.
What did it make you happy that Jason Day's back?
Yeah, you know,
That he won
Filipinos
since 2019 is the last time.
Jason
he won?
Day's Filipino?
half
Half, yeah.
Australian Filipino.
Yeah, because I just thought he was. I didn't know
Yeah.
what he was. I didn't know if he
Yeah.
was part black.
And he
or part-
just won. Like that's golf is a
Yeah,
crazy
Filipino.
game, isn't it? When you go from number one in the world, it's like think about how hard you have to fight to become number one in the world, and then you flounder down to the
11 years,
100th,
right?
100th in the world.
It's like Ricky. Ricky just crept back into like top 50 or something
Yeah.
like that. It's crazy.
But wait a second, 11 years since he won a tour event, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Jason, our
Okay, Tito Jason.
our Filipino pride, right? But yeah, so I mean, I grew up golfing like around it. I wasn't a serious golfer, but I took lessons as a kid. And then actually, like when Steve and I met, golf wasn't like a part of our lives at all. I didn't even know like he had a history in golf or like he played or any of that stuff because he lived in New York and then moved to LA. And we didn't go golfing. We would go out and like we were doing other things. And then when we decided to have a family, it was like, okay, now we got to like kind of change some things around again. And Steven started golfing again. And he has never stopped since.
So you said you weren't like a serious golfer before. Are you technically a serious
I'm
golfer
extremely
now?
serious now.
Okay, I like that. I mean, I know I seen you at the Kith event, and we know we
Oh,
hit
well,
it.
that was a really bad day for me.
No, it's gone up a lot
It's gone
since
a
then.
lot better.
You already
Also, because
consistently
JR
playing.
was like, here, like, have this. And then I was like, whiffing the ball, like, over and over.
JR put her on that tuca, and it was over.
But we still did win, so.
I feel like certain things we just not supposed to
Oh,
say.
sorry.
Like you know,
Sorry, I didn't
we're supposed to
know.
leave that where we had
Okay,
it. on
okay.
that.
I'm
Tuca
sorry.
stick.
Wait a second, have you taken any lessons from Ron yet?
Oh, yeah. Ron and I are on speed dial.
Look at that.
You know what's interesting? Like, I think your coach is super important because, like, I've had different coaches that Steven's recommended. Like, I go different places, but like, I love Ron. And then I have one coach that I see every year when we go to France for this Evian event. And like, he's probably my favorite other than Ron. I mean, they're kind of.
She thinks about him all year. This French fucking
I could
Romeo.
have any coach in the world.
You know what I mean? And she loves getting the lessons with this fucker.
Because he's like, you could have had any coach in the world, but you chose Ron.
Oui. No, I'm just saying,
Yeah, he's on
Ron has
her.
been a different type of person in my life with what's going on in my life. I think I talk to him more than I even talk to my therapist.
He's kind of like a therapist,
just a
too.
good dude. And on top of that, it's been more than just golf, but never in a million years you would have told me this guy, the skinny anorexic Rodney Dangerfield, would be like one of my best friends.
Chain smoking.
I see you eating sushi with him, going out to dinner, fucking
I
hanging
mean, you
out.
were on the phone with
I
him
talk to him
yesterday,
every day.
Hey, can Ron come up and stay at the house? Like,
I talk to him almost every day. He calls.
Sure.
All right, like, well, where's my swings, you fucker? It's like, what? I sent you a swing yesterday. Where's the swings from today?
I feel like
Hold
Ron,
on, I have one right here. Send it to him, and then he fucking plays it right back.
Well, don't you remember the original podcast was the Ron and Remy show?
Yeah, when COVID started, we did the Ron and Remy show, and they were doing the Ron and Remy. I got graphics and everything.
there's the Ron and
I'll get
Remy
you the
show.
graphics of the Ron and Remy show for the.
Like Ron is
for the
definitely
TV.
a part of our family. So
He is. And I was a little reluctant. I've referred to him like all beginners and stuff. And then a buddy of mine, I've been golfing for like 8 years. He's a member at Bel Air, a member at Hillcrest. And he's probably like a 5 index, so he's really good. And he goes, hey man, I gotta ask you a favor. I was like, okay. Madison Club. What? And he goes, can you introduce me to your coach? And I was like, why? Because I was kind of nervous. And I was like, shit now. I mean, he does coach Jesper as a PGA, but I'm like, I don't know. Because Ron's good, but at the same time, for me, and of course, Steven is a 2 or 3, but I'm just saying, like, I'm worried, like,
6.
can Ron do, like, can Ron get this guy right?
I think it's so tough. Like one thing, like obviously I'm considering myself still a beginner golfer. Like I play golf, I'm getting better, I'm putting the work in.
She's getting a lot of chances for pars now.
Yeah, a lot
Love
more
that.
chances for
So
par.
like we're actually getting good chances for pars for the first time since we've been together, and she has flashes of excellence.
I love that.
Right?
Flash of
I love that.
excellence.
We played with Jesus for golf.
Yeah.
Jacob,
was in my foursome for
me
my
and
tournament.
Jacob hit from the back tees, and Igor, all 3 of us hit it really well. Erica hit from the women's tee. She outdrove all of us by 40 yards, including Jesus, right?
Except Jesus wasn't
No,
using
then
a
she
driver.
hit a 6-iron right on the front of the
Steven,
green.
Jesus wasn't using a driver.
Oh yeah,
though.
Jesus hit a 2-iron. But,
Same thing.
same difference.
Yeah.
She hits the driver down the middle on number 9 at the preserve, and then she hits a 6-iron right on the front of the green, and then 3 putt.
Yeah, exactly. So
You know what I mean? But like we had our moments.
Getting there.
She had a birdie putt the other day, like 5-foot birdie putt downhill. It was me and someone versus her and Igor, and
Remy,
she goes
right?
up all quick.
oh no, the guy
Fucking
from the
birdie
store.
putts it like 6 foot past the hole. I'm like, what are you rushing for? We had a birdie.
And he's like, slow down.
Like, where are you going? Your man's in the bunker.
I think having a caddy is helpful for me too. Just because I need like
Ron's actually a pretty good caddy too, though. By the way, he. I mean, I'm sorry, as far as like getting in your ear and stuff.
Yeah.
And we had him in the tournament.
I need someone to like kind of tell me like I need a little focus. I need someone to tell me like, okay, this 80%. Like
You know where I
use
get jealous?
this. Why?
I don't know anybody that gets FaceTime lessons. This guy calls in the middle of my lesson. Ron's like, hey, I was like, what are you doing, bro? What's going on? He goes, it's Steven, dude. I was like, so what, bro? Tell him to call back, bro. Tell him to call at 10 o'clock. And he goes, hold on, I'll be right back. 7-minute FaceTime lesson. Remember the other day?
Doesn't
And I was
take
like,
much.
what are you
I
doing,
think
bro?
I was in that lesson too. Maybe that was when Ben was.
Well,
in the
dude, I
lesson.
do it all the time.
I've been having like issues.
Don't
like
interrupt my lesson, bro.
Ron says I have
he
to
tells me to
hinge
hit him
my
when I'm
wrist.
doing it.
Hinge
Like
early.
I'm not hinging soon enough. And so then I was on the driving range with Steven trying to hinge simultaneously, and I was getting so frustrated. It was so frustrating, and I was like screaming. I couldn't handle it. I think it's like whenever you're trying to put some sort of new move into your
it's hard.
swing, it's hard to adjust, and then you're thinking like, is this right? Is this not right? Like what?
But then you
know?
get the, and you're fixed.
Yeah, and you're fixed. And you're fixed. I'm like,
And you're fixed. That's
So
when
no,
I hang
I'm-
up and he goes back to you. Been a long day. Time for a long drink.
The finished drink.
Proud sponsor of the Par 3 podcast. long drink.
Get yours at longdrink.com.
Cheers. I would love to see JR with Ron for like 1 hour.
So we need to do like
I was gonna go over there the other day. It's
an
funny.
offsite live from Whitsett.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, right?
So how many lessons have you got from Ron?
Oh, a lot.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Shit.
a lot.
Probably like 8,
Probably more than 8 over
10,
the years.
8 or 10.
I mean-
but then we'll FaceTime with her a little bit up there too.
And he'll
she has
watch
a
my
guy.
swing and
she
he'll
has a
give me
guy,
feedback.
Ian.
You know what Ron calls you?
What? Tell me.
Take a guess.
Tell me.
What does he call her?
Go.
The boss.
The boss.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the boss.
exactly.
fucked
the boss.
up, right?
He's like the boss is
That
calling.
makes
all
Steven just look
good.
like he's. I was like,
You know, Ben, it's amazing how far you can get along in life if you don't mind who takes the credit.
that's fine.
Am I right?
That's
Man,
fine.
I'm trying
You
to-
get a
I'm just
long
saying-
way in life if you don't care who takes the credit.
as long as it's happening.
Yeah.
That's it.
No, I it was just funny because he was like, yeah. So Erica, and he goes, the boss, and I was like, yeah. So Erica,
Yeah.
he goes, the boss.
He knows what's
I was
happening.
like, the boss of, you mean Steven? He goes, the boss.
Just
I got a
the
good one
boss.
for you.
CEO of Malbon.
Just the boss.
I
Yeah,
said
CEO.
CEO of Malbon. Oh, wow.
If you were the CEO of the LPGA Tour and the boss, where would you start?
So I think that like as we're launching women's, which is super exciting, and it's been something that we've been working on for a long time. I think that like as someone who loves golf, loves like culturally and loves like what Steve and I started with Malbon and being able to like bring golf to more people, make it more accessible and more fun. I think that like we need to tell those stories more. And like we've, with the women also, like these are women that are golfers, but they're also like other things, right? Are they mothers? Are they, have other interests? And I think that like, people find it interesting when you like actually know somebody and you can relate to them on more than just one level. And so I think that like if there's an opportunity to kind of like learn about these players and what their interests are outside of just golf, because like it's hard to relate to somebody who's that good at golf on that level. Because at the same time, it's like, even like the male pros, it's like, they're amazing golfers and like, it's so fun to watch them, but like, how do you relate to that? Like, it's like the same as like any other athlete, but like with other sports, you kind of sometimes get to see other sides of these people. Whereas like in golf, they really try to keep that separate or like they try to like shield that. So I think there's something there.
But I just think like the LPGA just needs like a better push. Like the WNBA is finally getting it after all these years. And like, Yedim is like, that's fam. That's like my little sister, right? And she's Korean. So like to see that, a Korean go get signed to Malbon, like it was so dope. And she loves you guys. So the close. So all these Korean LPGA players have been like, Ben Oppa, can you help me get clothes, whatever? Because, obviously you guys had women's clothes in Korea for a while.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I got no plugs. They're like, you're literally draped in Malbon all the time. I was like, it is men's stuff. I have no ties. And then Yedim gets signed. And not gonna lie to you, there was low key like not hate, but like jealousy. Do you know what I mean? They were like, yo, because they're not getting these shots. But at least you guys opened the door and now like more dope women golfers could come in and, rep. And I think you guys are gonna really be super successful on this women's stuff, because if you look at what, I don't want to say names because you're gonna mess up my sponsorship money, right? But like the other brands that are making women's clothes,
Yeah.
they're not doing no fly shit.
Yeah. And just like, I think bringing in like, what's happening in the world outside of just golf too, because obviously comfort and and the ability to wear it on course is important, but like also represent yourself. How do you feel? Like if you're feeling good about what you're wearing, you're going to play better, you're going to like have more
Absolutely.
fun. So
Look
I'm
good,
excited
you feel
about
good, you
it.
play good, they pay good.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what Jared calls a pro shop?
What?
His closet.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just another
So, I
place
mean-
where I hang up my stuff,
No offense. I know you guys have built the men's and men's is dope and amazing, right? But like on a 1 to 10, how excited are you to build the women's brand in America?
I'm excited about it. I think that it's time. Like when we started the brand, I knew that it was time for men's at that time, right? Because when we started, Steve and I were like, Steven's golfing all the time. He's like obsessed with golf and he's posting on his Instagram. And I'm like, Steven, like, okay, like, we got to like do, like, what's the plan here? Like, I'm just like, let's do something with this because you're so passionate about it. And there's a space in the market for just like someone to tell that story. We didn't really know exactly what it was going to be yet. Was it going to be apparel? Was it going to, like, we were figuring that out, but it was like, there's an opportunity here for us to speak to people like yourselves that like love golf, love the sport, but also love other things too. And like have other stories, right? Like besides just golf.
Lifestyle.
Yeah. But is like unified by golf. And like, I think that's, you know, kind of how we started men's. And at that time, people were like, oh, you guys are crazy. Like golf's dying. Like no one's playing. There's less people playing than ever before. But like, we just knew that like there was this opportunity because we felt it. And we were our own consumers in a sense. And we would go to like the pro shops and the Roger Dunns of the world and be like, I'd go like looking for gifts for Steven and be like, I can't buy him anything. Like there's nothing. So I'd buy him like clothes to wear that were not golf clothes. So it was like, okay, well, how do we like bridge this gap, right? And so,
what brands would you buy me
like
instead?
I bought like Polo, like Ralph Lauren
Acne.
clothes, or like Acne and like polos, right? Like they're polos. You can wear polos anywhere, but like they weren't being specifically targeted for golfers. Even like Stussy, like, you know, they made like pants with belt loops. You could wear those, but they weren't being like targeted for golfers. And then you would just go to see what people were wearing, and it would be like, you know, very stretchy, tight pants. And it was like, that's not going to be very flattering on 90% of the men who are playing.
Body types.
Yeah, exactly. And Steven's like, this is not giving me like good moob action right here. So
Moved out
I mean,
with that
dude, you
Jay
see those
Lindbergh
PGA
shirt.
pants I'm wearing? Those are all vintage. Those Ernie L's, like top type of like gigantic baggy PGA pants that I'm wearing now. They're all vintage, late 90s, early 2000 pants that I found. About like 4 pairs.
yeah.
But I wanted to bring something back. Like 20 years ago, I was doing marketing for Nike, working with BWin, right? And all that and doing all this stuff. And
That's when we met.
yeah. And we started talking about these things.
I remember you told me like the Blue House or something.
We started the Blue
Yeah.
House, right? And we were doing all this energy marketing. And at that point, you know, shoes were actually rare, right? There was never in a million years, I think pair of shoes would be $500,000, like something crazy like that, or like at eBay, like, you know, just things that we had access to, right? And I had to get put, not in check, but someone had to let me know, right? And when you get, let's say, for instance, anywhere from a size 9 to a 15 men's shoe, 9 is very common. Now the 8.5 or 8 because of China, really common, right? And the K-pop thing, whatever. So if you have rare dunks or anything, right? If you had anything over a size 13, so let's say, for instance, a rare pair of shoes, golf, men's shoes, dunks, whatever. Men's shoes at a 9 to 10.5, let's say they're $300, okay? Size 13, $500. Size 15, $700, $800, right? And I started realizing this, right? If you bought a size 5, which is a women's 6.5, if you bought a size 5.5, women's 7, these are very common sizes for women. These shoes were $175 or maybe $25 over retail. And then the women got hip. And I was like, okay. So now a $500 pair of shoes that are hot, they're $1,500, $2,000 for a size 5.5 and a 6. So a lady goes, Ben, women spend 6 times more money on stuff than men do. So they're already buying stuff crazy. So now my son, who's a 5.5 and a 7 women's, all his shoes are all messed up. You're trying to get like a really cool pair. So when I saw that and you guys did the women's stuff, I was like, oh, it's over for this brand. And I don't want to say the brands, you know what I mean? Because they thought they got it, but like they don't.
And then that's like, it was just timing, I think, is like everything. I think timing is so important, and like how you launch it. And like, we really need to establish ourselves like in the golf space. And with men's, I thought like that was just a broader market at the time, but like women are like the fastest growing segment in the golf industry, like recreationally, like, and so there's just an opportunity for us to like, you know, tell that, just to grow that side of our business and really like introduce more people to the sport. And that's what we wanted to do with men's, and that's what we are doing with men's. And so now it's like, okay, let's bring the women in, and you know.
But like, what I mean is like, I look at the Nike women's skirt, right?
Yeah.
One, it's a little longer, it's cute. Girls, what's gonna do? They're gonna size down, right? So they can make it shorter, whatever, make it cool. Then I go look at Aloe. Skirt's way better looking. Now it's double the price.
Yep.
But still, and you can't get it because, you know, it's like a tennis skirt, golf skirt, whatever. And some girls are wearing it as fashion. They're not even wearing it on a golf course.
Yeah. And that's inspiring. Like when we would spend time in Korea, like we'd go to Korea the first couple of times we went to Korea, and like the way athleisure was being worn here, like golf apparel is being worn there. So people are walking around like doing their grocery shopping or shopping in their golf outfits because it's comfortable. The same way here where women are wearing leggings and like sneakers and sports bras. And so I was like, oh wow. And then I'm like, this is great. Like this is amazing.
But then he showed me the skirt. I looked at it. I don't have a deal with Aloe, so I don't care. But I was like, this ain't the same quality. Now, of course, your price point marks what it is, but people are going to gravitate towards the better looking product from someone who's very fashion conscious like you are. So I'm just fully supportive of it.
Thank you.
And I think that that's just a whole different ball game now. Another thing I noticed too, when I was buying my son's clothes, it's very little for junior golf for kids between like 8 and 12. There's very little. Even the Nike stuff is limited. Whatever Jalen wrote, it's hard to get. I was able to get my kids a couple cool Nike Torrey Pine shirts, certain things. I know you guys are doing a couple things. You did some collabs, but you guys need to own that space because my son's nothing to wear at the golf course.
It's coming. This shit just takes so long sometimes. You know what I mean?
We have to have enough family members to like actually make it happen. So like,
I've been working on juniors and youth so long that by the time it comes out, my kids won't even be able to fit it anymore. You know what I mean? I designed it for Remy, and he's about to go to small men's.
Lucci's already a men's small.
Yeah.
So
my son Ryder is he's about to be 9 this weekend, and he wears a men's small. So what I'm saying is, it's still hard for him to find something swaggy. You know what I mean? So
totally. There's nothing.
I think it's cool because like we're doing it differently. We're like, we're not thinking about like how much money you can make as the first thing that we're doing, right? We're like, every brand will tell you like, youth's hard. It doesn't make any money. It's like selling youth golf clothes. Like the reason like Nike makes 4 colors and they make shorts, pants, polos, quarter zips, that's it. It's because like they have to do such high quantities and then they have to figure out distribution for it. And it's like, what are we doing this for? Like we could just sell Air Force Ones and like make money. Like why are we taking the energy?
$100 a pop?
But kids want to be fresh too. I'm just saying.
100%.
You know? But that's
I'm doing it like designing it for my kids and for your kids and like thinking of it on that level. And then like if you focus on what you're doing it for and there's a good intention and you're doing it to make something better, obviously it'll make money too. You know, but it's very hard when those big, huge corporations have shareholders and numbers they have to hit. And
it's not about with them. It's not about what's cool. It's what's profitable. What's gonna like how can we keep our spending margins so low, but our profit margins coming in so high? When you just trying to make something dope and cool, it's like who gives a damn about how much it's gonna make or how much it costs? If it's dope, the inspiration behind it is gonna mean way more than the price point.
Yeah.
I just want Remy and Lucci, my kids, to be like, Dad, that's fire.
Yeah,
you know, like I won. That's
it. That's it. Father of the year.
That's it. That's all.
Our kids are the same age. When London was born, I remember he was my first kid. So of course he had like 4 Gucci outfits and Dior fits, and then you figure out, yo, dude, this is stupid as hell.
So stupid.
You know, it's like, look, he's wearing Old Navy, you know, whatever, but just comfortable stuff, Nike stuff here and there, Oshkosh, Carter's, whatever. But his uncle got him like a Balenciaga t-shirt and a hoodie. And I'm talking, this is just a basic thing. But I was like, no, that wasn't $900 for that hoodie, bro. You're tripping. Again, it's a brand I don't care about for whatever reason, whatever. Now, if it was $800, $900 and it was Malbon, different thing because I'm supporting a brand that I really understand that got
Don't
kids.
ever buy anything even Malbon for $900.
I'm just saying.
Not for a 10-year-old.
By the way, you know, a Malbon polo in Korea is $500. You know what I mean?
No,
so
I know. I mean, listen, that was a joke. But yeah, no, I totally get it.
I'm just saying I'd rather support that for people who actually want the kids to look for it. Just was like, this was bogus.
I'm a guilty, like, I would buy the clothes, the expensive stuff for my kids too. Like Trico Field was this one store, like a Japanese store in Beverly Hills. And like, I love that store. And they grow out of it. I still have bins in our garage of
what
like.
Are you talking about? I have Hermes baby towels and all that stuff, everything I use with my son and all that stuff. I won't get rid of it.
I know you can't. It's like, it's just.
I'll just go out there and just say, y'all was bugging. Exactly. Ain't no way. I got my daughter a little like Louis bag, like literally that the youngest one uses now.
Yeah,
my
there
oldest,
you go.
I got that from my oldest. And that was that was it. And that was literally because I knew I was gonna have more kids and it was
that's smart.
Like,
just keep them coming.
We do hand-me-downs all the time.
You're talking to a person who's literally got 5 Goyard bags in one with him right now. He got a briefcase with a fucking tchotchke.
Okay.
How many Goyard bags you got on you right
I got
now?
like 3, but but you know what? I understand that.
And he's a grown adult, dog.
He appreciates it. It
The
makes
kids
him
ain't
feel
gonna
good.
appreciate that.
Yeah, they just gonna run through it.
What? That's gonna be left on the front porch. Like, yo, where's your bag at?
JR said something to me that hit different when I was going to go play that Pro-Am. He said, don't bring that staff bag, dog. Like, it's 3 sponsors on there, Ben Baller this big. He goes, don't bring that staff bag. And I remember last minute, and then I hit up Mike and all because he goes, fuck, JR, what do you mean? Don't listen to JR, bro. Wear that bag because he want the views and I get a lot of engagement. And I thought about it. And I remember both bags were on the thing, and I thought about JR. I was like, nah, bro, if I don't shoot 4 under, I can't have this bag.
No, you can't show up with that bag.
100%.
So I didn't show up with the bag. My son, for his birthday, this boy got him a Gucci backpack. And I said, you know what? Fuck that. It's my son. Let him swag out. And I thought about what JR said about the whole thing. I can't have my son play. It's like the big GGs everywhere. And I was like, you know what? No. Even though he goes to private school.
Failure, bro.
Yes, you're right. So you know what I did? Hold it up for my daughter because that's different. She's a girl.
You're
I don't mind that.
So you're teaching him stuff.
No, they got regular backpacks. They got the
Yoshida Porter.
Bro, the only time I use a sandbag is when we come here. Every time, everything else, I got a little carry bag, little Jones bag, throw my clubs in. I'm just
It's lighter anyways.
Yeah, I'm on the move. I ain't got time to be all
I
that.
think like a funny thing in golf too is like from a family perspective is like, you know, women are always like, oh, we're golf widows. Or like, I'm like, what are you guys talking about? Like, let them go play golf, please.
I remember my mother-in-law, Erica's mom, Dina, she was like, no, golf's really good for a marriage because like it gives you separation where the wife can go do whatever the fuck she needs to do and you can go play golf with your friends and it's a healthy habit. And then after that's all
Y'all
done
get
during
in.
the day, you come back and you have dinner and everyone's happy and you see the kids and then it gives you something healthy to motivate
Everybody
you and
needs
keep
a little
you
alone
getting
time,
going.
you know?
No, for sure.
You gotta miss.
Right?
I gotta be able to miss you. You
Exactly.
Man, bro.
So I think that's something that like is like, you know, I mean, I get it. Like there's always these funny memes that Steve and I will send to each other. Like we'll be like, oh honey, like, can you help me with this? He's like, yes, like just funny like golf memes. But like in like general, like I'm like, yeah, listen, like as long as it's healthy and you're not leaving my car on the freeway after because you've just been like having too much fun on the golf course,
know? Right.
it's all good.
Like that. Uber.
Like the one time you did that, remember?
Oh my God.
On the 405.
I got by Lakeside.
Oh my God.
The Lakeside
pour.
got me. The Lakeside,
Lakeside pour.
got
Oh,
me.
man.
And driving back to Manhattan Beach up the 405,
I'm in Cabo at like a bachelorette
I run out of gas in the fast lane
on the 405.
after the Lakeside pour.
See, you know, I thought it was only.
I made a
with
run
liquor.
for it.
He ran over the freeway and left my car in the freeway.
I mean,
Yeah, I don't know about that, bro.
Move.
yeah.
I've never done that before.
Was he he's
Never,
still
ever.
alive to talk about
Hey,
it. So
see
he's
you
like,
later. Well, Erica, you're the best. Thank you for coming
Oh, I'm
on.
so
Thanks
glad.
for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The boss.
The real boss.
The
Remember
boss
that,
with
everybody.
the boss's dog.
Tita
Yeah,
Erica.
exactly. I'm like, this is the dog.
Tita Erica.
Yeah, exactly.
And we will see you all next week.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Love.